what I love about the story is that, you know, the essence of it is very quintessentially English, but it does, you know, it's accessible and relatable everywhere in the world. Did you have that feeling from the beginning when the book was published, that it did resonate internationally?
No, when it first came out, I just assumed it would have a very limited audience. You know, I didn't know if people would respond to it at all. And then what happened was literally from the first week it came out, it snowballed. It became one of those things that you can only dream about as a writer, which is a word of mouth book. And the thing that has been completely extraordinary for me is how many countries it has been a bestseller in. Places like Brazil or Korea or, you know, Australia, China, just places that on the surface would seem to have nothing in common. But I think it made me realise that essentially this is just a story about two people in an extraordinary situation. And I think the thing that resonates globally is that everyone can put themselves in his shoes and everyone can put themselves in her shoes. And it asks questions of you the whole time you're watching. What would you do? You know, and I can only think that's been responsible for its success.
No, absolutely. And plus, you know, the charm of those characters that are kind of a little bit out of the box, but yet so relatable. Did you ever feel that it would become a movie, or it's something that never dawned upon you?
No, it never dawned upon. I mean, I've had books optioned before, but, you know, in my life you tend to treat those as kind of buying a lottery ticket, that the chances of anything happening are like 1,000,000 to 1, but it would be lovely to dream. But somehow when the studio came on board, there was such an energy and a focus behind actually getting it made. I suddenly realised very quickly that they were very, very serious about it. And as I understand it, the time between us agreeing the option and it actually hitting cinema screens is very short for Hollywood. It's happened very quickly.
How did you feel when you attended your first premiere?
Oh, well, I was very nervous, but I just loved it. It was like a dream. And I have such a great team here with Warner Brothers, and the cast and the crew are just lovely. So it felt like being among friends. You know, we haven't seen each other for a long time, and the fans were incredible. You know, there's such lovely support for this book, and I'm so grateful for it because, people were staying overnight to make sure they had a place on the pavement, and that was incredible to me.
And it's such a tearjerker in itself as a book and as a movie as well. Did you feel immersed in the movie as an audience member yourself?
I've cried and laughed every time I've watched it, which is testament to the performances. The New York premiere was the first time I'd really sat through a screening for some time. And to have everybody laugh in so many places was really gratifying for me, because I don't want people to think of this movie as just a sad movie. For me, what I would hope is that it's an old-fashioned movie experience where you go to just feel lots of emotions. You should laugh a lot, you should cry a lot, maybe you should think a lot, but hopefully you'll come out feeling uplifted, and that's what the audience gave us at the premiere.
Absolutely. About the fashion of Lou, what inspired it? Were there any real-life events that inspired the bumblebee tights and the red dress and everything, or was it all a figment of your imagination?
The bumblebee tights were mine. Yeah, in fact, my mother came to the UK premiere last night, and she took great delight in telling everybody she still has a photo of me in those tights. So I'm hoping, Mum, if you're watching this, don't put it on social media, please. But no, it was a throwaway line that I thought of while I was writing, and I didn't realise it would just become such a key part of Louisa's story. Yeah. But her wardrobe is basically just a slightly exaggerated version of the clothes that lots of girls I knew bought. You know, they bought from thrift shops, they bought from kind of cheap clothing stores. But I think there's something quite English about the way
you put
them together. Yeah. And I think Jill Taylor, our costume designer, got that perfectly, because there's a kind of fine line between quirky and crazy lady, and I think she absolutely stays on the right side of it.